Trump and the Republicans have released their new plan for health care in the country today. They call it the American Health Care Act. And it is what will repeal and replace Obamacare, as Trump promised so many times throughout the campaign. Now, to summarize it real quickly and easily for you, it is basically, as some Republican senators and members of the House have said, Obamacare 2.0. That's the reality. It is essentially Obamacare 2.0. The most egregious aspects of Obamacare that are the most damaging to the healthcare industry have not been fixed, have not been solved. They haven't done anything. And those are pre-existing conditions and competition across state lines. And regarding pre-existing conditions, no one has anything to say except we're preserving that coverage. We're preserving that protection. Don't worry about it. We're preserving it. And they put that at the top of those categories when they're like, don't worry, we're preserving those protections. And you can see more, by the way, and I would recommend that you check it out yourself at readthebill.gop, because I will say that's one huge benefit, one huge positive aspect to this that Obamacare didn't have, is this is actually being rolled out in a normal, regular, appropriate fashion where there's going to be enough time to talk about this and to have it go through in a normal process. Where you may recall, Obamacare was shoved through in an unacceptable manner, and there's a now famous quote from Nancy Pelosi where she says,
"But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it."
Yeah, that's how Obamacare was passed, was this enormous 1,000 plus page document that basically no one read, that had a whole range of ridiculous little taxes and this and that and that. And that is something that Trump's healthcare, Trump Care, the American Health Care Act, whatever you want to call it, that Obamacare 2.0 here is actually doing better, is they have totally nixed and repealed all of the taxes that Obama set up in Obamacare. Taxes on imported drugs, you want to bring in drugs from different countries, the taxes on equipment, taxes on this, taxes on a lot of just small little taxes that were weaseled into that 1,000 page document have now been repealed, which is excellent, which is fantastic, and I'm glad they're able to do that. The other good thing they were able to do with this healthcare bill is they have changed it from a more direct subsidy to people through the Obamacare health subsidies, that bronze plan, silver plan, all these things like that. It's now still a subsidy basically, but it's a slightly different system where you're going to get a tax credit. Okay, between $2,000 and $14,000 per year, depending on your age and your family size and some other factors. You're just going to get this tax credit. And what is the difference exactly? Well, twofold. One, it's going to make it harder for illegal immigrants to take advantage of these benefits. And two, it's going to make it harder for people not paying taxes in general to take advantage of these benefits. This means that it's not encouraging people to not work, basically, which the Republicans point out and which I appreciate. That is a nice aspect to the bill. But to sum it up, I suppose, essentially, Obamacare 2.0. We maintain most of the problems, we fix a few small things, and we just kind of test with our toe over the line to see what the response is going to be. Because you got to understand that's what's going on, right? I really wish that Trump could keep the promises to everyone and take this in a stronger step, right? And he can do things like, for example, make it so that there is competition across state lines. That was a really big deal. People have talked about that for a long time. How in most counties in America, you have one option from the state-provided health insurance coverage plans. You have one provider in a lot of places. Not even two options, but one. Right? Imagine if you have just one restaurant in your entire county that you can go to. Not very good. Competition is super important. And this plan, the American Health Care Act, unfortunately doesn't solve that. Now, Trump wants to take to Twitter and say, well, don't worry, in phase 2, that's when we'll tackle competition between states. And that's all well and good. And you know what? I genuinely believe, and I guess because I want to believe, at least for now, that Trump means what he says. And he does want to solve that issue. But he just can't go full hog in the first iteration here. Because we see what happened with, for example, the travel ban, right? With the travel ban, he tried to do basically nothing. He tried to do the same thing Obama did and restrict some countries that we were bombing. And the sky is falling. Oh my God, the world is ending. Trump the racist wants to ban all Muslims. Let's riots and protests, right? Trump just barely tried to do anything about it, and riots and protests. And you know, and we're seeing a bit of this already, this is going to be the same thing with healthcare, right? You try to take away all this give me that's, this free shit for people, and they're going to go absolutely wild. And I'm not going to bore you with my argument for pre-existing conditions here, because I've already done a video for that I think is fairly good. And it hits that argument for why we should or should not cover pre-existing conditions pretty well. So I'm going to link that down below or have that up on screen or something. Go check out my other presentation on pre-existing conditions. And let me know in the comments below what you think about the American Health Care Act, or Obamacare 2.0, as some people are calling it. It certainly makes some good moves. It leaves out a lot of important stuff, but they can't do it all at once, can they? Because the country would burn and riot around us. So that's about all for now. I'll see you guys next time.